Hi, this is me from the present, giving you a quick few words before you view the following video. It's about my reaction when I first took Concerta and ADHD meds. And I want you to notice the difference between me now and me then. The difference is fairly extreme, particularly if you listen to my voice, my inflections, how I speak. Not only because I'm more comfortable in front of the camera now, but because the medication that I've been taking has made that big a difference. So I want you to watch that and observe and see the difference. Same studio, things have moved around a little bit, but it's the same room, same taping. I've got my windows are my lights, and I just kind of wanted to touch base with you that there is a difference. And I hope you get something out of this. One quick thing I want to say ahead of time was I did this video that's coming up a year ago, and then I shared it with a gal who was working with me to get me through a few rough patches. And she was the one that recommended I talk to my other physician to see if I have ADHD. But this other therapist, I sent her this video, the original cut of the video. It's long and kind of rambles a little bit. But she asked if she could show it to another patient who she keeps trying to get to go get diagnosed for ADHD. She says he's textbook. He could use the help. I think it would be amazing for him, and he just keeps dragging his feet. So she showed him this video, and in showing him this video, the next week he went for testing. The following week he got his first ADHD medications, and she said it's night and day. He is able to complete his tasks and stay on target and all this fun stuff. Never minimize the difference you can make just by getting out there. I am shy as a dormouse, and but I was just fine. Go ahead and show it. It was private video at the time. I had to give her a link to view it, and I said go ahead and share it with him, and I said you can share it with anybody, particularly after that experience, realizing this guy, all he needed was to see what would happen when you take the medication from somebody that wasn't a physician. So if you're out there and you have ADHD, never minimize your experience. It can help somebody else. I hope this made a difference to you, and at least to know that you're not the only one out there, because there's me. If I figured out at 62, good gosh, get it done. Whether you go through a therapist to have some coping tools, whether you take the medication, where you chug your coffee, there is a difference when you address the ADHD. At the ripe old age of 62, I have been diagnosed with ADHD. I'm going to keep a log of this, take you along on my journey, and what this entails, but the one thing I do know is I wish I'd known sooner. So today is my first day on a medication called Concerta, I guess it's called. It's a long-term slow-release Ritalin to see if it affects me. My daughter was diagnosed with ADHD about 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, and talking to my therapist, she goes, well, is there anybody else in your family that has ADHD? Because typically there's another family member when you have an ADHD person in the family. And I was like, no, not that I'm aware of. However, the only closest thing is that if I drink coffee, I get tired. And she looked at me and she did the slow blink. Well, that's very telling. And because of that, I went and got tested, got the diagnosis. So as I sit here right now, I took my, I think it's called methotrexate, Anyway, I took it a few minutes ago. So I'm waiting to see how it will affect me. I took the lowest dose. My daughter said when she took her dose the first time, she definitely felt it. There was this kind of focus that she hadn't had before. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm hoping it doesn't kick up my blood pressure, because I'm old gal. I have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all that good stuff that comes as you get older. And I know Concerta can aggravate that. So we're going to keep on track of that too. We're going to keep looking at that. How do I not know that I had something as significant as ADHD my whole life? How did I make it to the age of 62? Well, they say people of slightly higher IQ have the ability to come up with coping mechanisms easier, so that it kind of not hides it, but they're able to deal with it a little bit better, and so it doesn't come to the forefront. And with girls and women, it's not so much the hyperactiveness, it's the internal, it's the turning it inward, it's the being unable to focus, it's not having time management, it's not being able to know your directions, it's having being untidy, as you see behind me. It's my work desk. It's a whole bunch of things that I was unaware of. My laundry was never done. My laundry was never folded. Beds were never made. Dishes were rarely done. All at once. The sink was rarely clean. I worked my whole life, and I worked in I could say a stressful industry. I worked for a municipality. I went from working at City Hall to working at Planning and Zoning to resigning in an effort to get my first husband to go to work, and it still didn't work. Then I ended up having 3 jobs within a very short period of time, within a 9-month period. Then I went to work back for the municipality and went to work for the fire department. I was with them for 10 years, went to the police department for several years, and then went to City Hall, worked for the city manager, was an assistant to the city manager, and when I retired I became a council member and then vice mayor for a time. So I wasn't sitting back, I wasn't incapacitated. What I was doing was I was filling my day so that when I needed to twirl a different plate, there was one right there for me to twirl. When I got bored of this one, I moved to that one. And that's not to say I didn't struggle with deadlines, which I did. Can you see the tail back there? One of my 5 puppies. The strategies I used, again, were I was busy. I had sticky notes everywhere on my desk. It was a joke. And you could never see, I had a beautiful wooden desk. You couldn't see the wood on it. That's how much crap I had all over my desk. Moved through my life with stress, anxiety, major depression, but moved along through it. I'm also an artist, and I've been was having really difficulty once I retired. Real difficulty focusing on one project. I've always had difficulty focusing on one project. I would get one, I'd realize I could do this, and then move to the next one instead of staying on this one and making a career out of that. So I was having this real difficulty, but I would do art shows, and it seemed like every time I went to a New Year for an art show, I would be displaying a different product. You know, I'm not sticking with acrylic paintings or jewelry or leatherworking or paper mache. I would just go from one to the other. What you're seeing now is the medication hitting. It doesn't feel like my daughter described it. It feels like I'm here. Excuse me. So for the first time taking Concerta, that's pretty significant. I didn't really know what to expect. I haven't felt that my antidepressants made me numb, but what they did was take off the top and bottom of my emotions, meaning the highest peaks of sorrow and the deepest valleys of anger, but it also takes away the highest joys and the depth of your love. And this, it's very difficult to describe. I am blown away, and I'll probably go cry here in a few minutes, but I thought it was important to get this down. I've lost my thought now for sure. Not that I wouldn't lose it anyway with my ADHD, but boy, it's like taking a deep breath. Not quite like coming out of the water and seeing clarity, but how do you describe this to someone? It's like seeing, with all the fuzz gone. It's like having a cloudy head and the fog goes away and you can see the road again. Wow. I don't know what else to say. I will have to come back. I'm going to have to deal with the flood of emotions that is currently besetting me. And step back for a few minutes. I am looking out this windows into the desert. I live on 3 acres in a little community. I have 5 dogs. My smallest dog is 90 pounds. My largest dog is 175 pounds. He's like a black bear walking by. We took him almost a year ago from a family that could no longer have him because he was so big. He was basically knocking over their 4 children under 8. Not because he was boisterous, just because he was freaking large. Like how I did that, jump from one subject to the next. I can do that all day long. I'll show you my dogs later. But back to the topic at hand. Wow. Wow. I cannot say more than wow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, ask. Take this deep breath and go outside, put my slippers on, and take my girl out, my Raven, and look at the sky for a minute and see how the world is a little different for me than it's been the past 62 years. Thank you.